Hello, Taylor County. I'm Alex Renham, and I'm here with Pat Isner-White, who's running for the City Council of Ward 4. Pat, Thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, for sure. Why don't you start out just telling us a little bit about who you are?
I was born and raised in Grafton to Jim and Marguerite Isner. I moved away when my daughter was a baby. I was away for quite a while, but 12 years ago I moved back, and it's always been home. And when I thought about where my home was, it was always Grafton. So when I was thinking about moving from California, it was the only place I wanted to be.
Grafton was it, huh?
Yeah.
That's great. We're glad to have you back.
Thank you.
What does the City Council mean to you, or being a member of the council? What does that mean?
Well, I think it's an important job, and I think the council that's seated right now has been doing an excellent job. And I would just like to be another voice in that. I don't really have any big issues that I want to bring up at this point because I'm not really that familiar about everything that they do. But I see Grafton improving every day.
Makes sense. You talked a little bit about your past earlier. What are maybe some experiences or a situation or a challenge that you've occurred in your life that you feel has positioned you well to be a quality leader here for the city of Grafton?
Well, I retired from the phone company in New York. I then moved to Arizona, worked for America West Airlines, and then I worked for the LA Daily News. And all of them was dealing with the public, handling situations. My last job with the phone company was a switching technician, which was a tough job to get. Yeah.
So if you're elected, you say you don't necessarily have any big issues, but what would be your number one priority?
I think we need something in this town for the youth to do. When we were young, we had a YMCA. And I think that's something with all these empty buildings that we could do. It wouldn't have to be exotic place for them to come to, but it could be a place where they could come and play games, they could dance. Just, I just don't think there's much of anything to do in Grafton for the teenagers.
So it's always a struggle.
Yes.
Kind of following that on, at the end of your term or multiple terms, whatever it might be, how would you want your legacy to be perceived by the folks of Grafton?
As productive.
Yeah, good. So what currently do you think is the biggest challenge that Grafton faces?
We need more industry.
Gotcha. And one of those that I think we all kind of look at as well as a challenge for everybody is the opioid addiction. What do you feel maybe could be the city's role, or how do you feel that the city could help alleviate that challenge in our community?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I know it's out there. I don't know anybody that has a problem with it or sells it or anything like that, but I don't know if there is a whole lot that the city council can do to do anything about that. I mean, the government can't do anything about it, so how's the little town of Grafton city council going to do a whole lot about it?
I'm not sure anybody's figured out the answer just yet.
No, I don't think so.
As you know, we polled the community for questions to come back, and several came back around the city council membership. Mm-hmm. And one of the questions or themes kind of we got was the revitalization of downtown. And there's been some improvements down here. I know the city just released a program, a facade program, a matching program. And there's a lot of demolition that's happened around the city that was needed. Mm-hmm. And the kind of the theme that we saw was question was, okay, so we have demolitions, and we're spending quite a bit of money as a city on that. We also have some money going into facades. How much of that do you feel kind of balanced out around prevention? So we're taking care of the buildings we have, rehabilitation, and of course demolition. What's your perspective on that?
Well, I think getting rid of the buildings that are empty, and I think that's probably where most of your drug problems land, because they need some place to go to do their drugs, to sell their drugs. So I think that's a big thing in getting rid of all those old houses, old buildings. I really believe that that's the biggest thing. Downtown, we need more businesses. I don't know how we're going to attract them, but we need more businesses. This town was once a wonderful town. I mean, we had 3 drugstores for this little town. So, yeah, it needs, I think some of the bigger stores that have moved in, like Walmart, which I go to all the time. I mean, I'm not condemning them, did a lot to alleviate some of our stores.
Yeah, so one of the other things was transportation, public transportation. I know there's been efforts before around bus services and things. Do you feel the city can play a role there, or what's your perspective around public transportation?
I really don't know. I don't know how public transportation would help the city. Might help if they're, the people if they're going to Bridgeport or someplace else, but to help the city, I really can't see public transportation helping that much.
Gotcha. Okay. One of the things that was themed, kind of talking about several questions that come in, was this concept of maybe as a town we're stuck in the past. And I don't think the reference was we're stuck in our history, it was we're stuck in methods of the past of trying to improve our town. I'm not sure that's a fair accusation necessarily. I'm not sure it was even put in the accusation, but it was more the question was, how progressive of a leader do you think you'll be in terms of new ideas or ways to take this city forward?
Right now, I don't have an agenda. If I come up with something that I feel Grafton will profit by, I would be more than ready to voice my opinion and to try to sway others to it. Yes, we need a lot more done in Grafton, but I've seen a big improvement just since I've been back here in 12 years.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of people working really hard right
now. Oh,
now.
yes.
And so you mentioned you were here before in Grafton, you've seen the history of the thriving town. As you sit back and you look at Grafton and you kind of have a vision for what it could be, what does it look like? Explain to us what that vision could look like.
I think it would be more storefronts with stores in them, more people coming down to do the things that are offered. I mean, there's a lot of people in this county, and like even on Memorial Day weekend, when we give away free food, it's not that busy. I mean, yeah, we have people, but I think that somehow or other, the people have to be educated more about what's going on and what they can do. And I mean, there are a lot of things around here that people could just walk up and down the street and do in a moment. And we beautified with the trees and all that stuff. So I really think that the people need to be more informed of what they can do to make Grafton a better place.
Great. Well, as is customary on this program, we offer the last word to you. What is it you'd like to tell the voters of Grafton?
I would do my best to serve Grafton. As I said, it's been my hometown. My children were born here. It's where I came back to. And I feel that just more people should get involved. I'm not a politician, but I'm trying my best to do something for Grafton.
Great. Pat Isner White for City Council, Ward 4. We're glad you're here to try. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you.